Order. Today we're going to consider one bill and 18 General Services Administration resolutions. Senator Carper and I have agreed that we will begin voting at 9:55. At that time, I will call up the items on the agenda. We're not going to debate the items on the agenda while we're voting. Instead, we're going to debate them before we begin voting. I'll also be happy to recognize any member who still wishes to speak after the voting concludes. Today we're going to consider S. 3239, the William T. Coleman, Jr. Department of Transportation Headquarters Act. Senator Wicker introduced S. 3239 at the end of January. I joined the bill as an original co-sponsor. So did Ranking Member Carper and Senators Booker, Cantwell, Casey, Harris, Toomey, Scott, and Inhofe. I want to thank Senator Wicker for his work on this bipartisan piece of legislation. William T. Coleman devoted his life to public service. He was the first African-American Secretary of Transportation and only the second African-American to hold a cabinet-level position. The bill commemorates his legacy by designating the United States Department of Transportation's headquarters as the William T. Coleman, Jr. Federal Building. Republican Coleman was an advisor to every president, Republican and Democrat, from Dwight David Eisenhower through George W. Bush. His service included appointments to several presidential commissions. As an esteemed civil rights attorney, Coleman was a lead strategist and co-author of the legal brief filed for the Supreme Court's seminal case on racial inequality, Brown versus the Board of Education. His participation in this landmark case came just a few years after he broke new ground as the first African-American to clerk for a U.S. Supreme Court justice. At Harvard Law School, Coleman was the third African-American to serve on the Board of Editors of the Harvard Law Review. He graduated in 1946, ranked first in his class. Coleman broke down racial barriers for others who came after him. In 1995, Coleman was awarded the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, for his contributions to the legal profession and to society. William T. Coleman, Jr. passed away in March of 2017. It's an honor to join my fellow senators to celebrate the life of such a distinguished American, and I encourage every senator to support this legislation. Today, we are also going to consider 18 resolutions to approve prospectuses providing for General Services Administration's leases. These prospectuses will allow agencies, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, to consolidate space, resulting in increased efficiency and saving taxpayer money. The federal government stands to save roughly $3.5 million each year if all of the prospectuses are approved. In a few seconds, I will turn to Senator Carper for his opening statement, and if any other member has anything that they would like to offer at this time, I'd be happy to recognize them.